It is time to get uplifted. Thank you for joining me. I'm Allison Seymour. So I want to talk to you for a second about your kids. If you don't have kids, how about a niece or nephew, maybe a special child in your life? And you've probably said to yourself at some point or another, man, what they have done is just exceptional. Or maybe they've accomplished something so impressive that you want to shout from the top of your lungs, yeah, that's my kid. So we know those moments probably aren't just leaving an impact on you, they're likely inspiring other kids to reach for the stars as well. So in honor of those wow moments, we are highlighting ways that young people from all over the country are leaving a lasting impact on others and their communities. So we are starting this episode of Get Uplifted with a story from right here in our backyard. It's not every day that a child's imagination is brought to life, but that's exactly what happened at Bennett Elementary School in Manassas, Virginia. Back in November, kindergarten students at Bennett created drawings inspired by the book Where the Wild Things Are. And those drawings were then handed off to students at the National Art Honor Society in Colgan, Gainesville, and Patriot High Schools. And over the next few months, those high school students carefully transformed each sketch into a three-dimensional sculpture. They did it by sculpting, sewing, again, sculpting and creating and recreating every horn, claw, and grin. And right before the school year finished, the high schoolers surprised the kindergartners with their creations.
Painting is my favorite because I like polka dots and I like French fries, of course, and even I like showing love to everyone.
The drawings they gave us had a lot of details. Like mine had a lot of eyes, a lot of spikes, a lot of little, a lot of legs. I know kids are gonna play around, they're gonna pull at it. So I made sure with all my details, like buttons or embroidery, that it was double knotted, and I went over it a couple times.
What a heartwarming project. Hopefully these kindergartners cherish their one-of-a-kind works of art forever. Well, now we want to highlight a technological creation that's helping dozens of kids feel more comfortable in the kitchen. We're talking about the app Pesto. It was created by a 16-year-old boy in Iowa who spent part of his childhood competing on Food Network's Kids Baking Championship shows. Nicole Tam spoke with the app's creator about his work.
Nash Roll is taking lessons he learned from being on Food Network's Kids Baking Championship to the kitchen at home.
Kids do not know how to wash a dish, how to make a basic, or how to read a recipe, how to add up measurements and stuff like that. And I knew that that's a big problem now, especially, and I knew there was a way we can fix that.
The solution he came up with is a resource that answers kitchen or cooking questions. Pesto.
We like to call him your super smart, judgment-free cooking buddy.
Pesto is powered by artificial intelligence. Creating Pesto was the challenge itself.
The learning curve was really fighting against what code can do and what software can do versus what I want it to do.
After months of learning and hard work, the Can Cook app is live, answering questions about cooking, baking, or anything kitchen related. And unlike other AI apps, this one is trained to only answer kitchen-related questions.
If I can provide a free app that has information I've had to hand type or hand upload, you can only ask it about certain questions that have been input. So if you ask it about cars or trucks, it wouldn't answer.
Wow, it's nice to see him all grown up, right? Well, Ro says that he wants to feature recipes on that app soon. And you can find that app by searching Pesto AI on your Google Play or in your Apple's App Store. Well, the next person that we want to highlight isn't a kid. She's a young adult and no stranger to our Get Uplifted show. She just said, I feel like I've been here so many times. And yes, we love it when you come and play with us. You remember Carly Hogan Bruin. She's talked about her special relationship with her mom during Mother's Day, that episode, and her dating journey during our Valentine's Day episode. This girl is an all-around go-getter, and she joins us on this episode to talk about the impact that her club, DC Gals, is making. And you may have heard of it. It's got about 3,000 followers so far on Instagram. The club helps women in their 20s who are new to DC help make friends by organizing fun meetups around the DMV. And we want to introduce you now to founder Carly and also a member of the club, Gabby Garcia. Nice to see both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Don't ever get tired of coming to see us.
Oh, I won't.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's start with you though. Why this club? Why now? And how's it going?
It's going great.
Good.
I started after I moved back to DC after college. I wanted something to do with girls in their 20s. I wanted to go to happy hours. I wanted to go to basketball games, just activities. And I didn't think that there was available to girls in their 20s. There's more meetups for like girls in their 30s or 40s. And I wanted something for girls right after college and meetups. And so then I started it because I didn't think it was available.
So is DC hard? Is it hard, this area hard? Because I hear that sometimes that it's difficult. And you were here in college though, right?
Before college, I grew up here.
You grew
and then I
up
went
here
to
and then went
Wisconsin.
away and then came back. Okay, so coming back and trying to get a new base of friends, is it hard?
It's really hard because girls have their cliques from college. Girls really just struggle to make friends on their own unless there's people bringing them together or you meet girls from work or things like that. It is really hard to make friends in a new city.
Okay. And Gabby, what attracted you to this club?
Yeah, absolutely. When I first moved here, I was genuinely scrolling through TikTok and Carly came up and it was her first inaugural TikTok talking about like, what if we just put like all of the young women who just moved to DC in a giant group chat. And so I saw that she had the link in her bio and I joined the group chat and then I ended up like going to the events and that's genuinely how I've made like all of my friends here. I was the exact target audience, like someone who had just moved to DC like weeks prior. And I didn't really know a lot of people. I like work at a very small company. So I knew that like I could make friends through like where I worked, but also it's really nice to get to know like women and girls in a way that's like not just work related, to go to like games and go and like hang out outside of that. So genuinely one of the most like beneficial additive things to my life here in DC.
I love that.
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel hearing
Oh my
that?
gosh, that's like the nicest thing ever. Gabby and I are like really just best friends. And I just am so happy I met her through this. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
So how does it work though? Because you know, and not everybody is as nice as the two of you. Let's just be honest. And so sometimes like different personalities, and if they're in a group, it might not work. How do you know it's going to work, and does it always work?
I would say 99.9% of the time, every girl I've met, so nice. I really can't even think of one time that a girl hasn't been nice. Every girl just wants to be there. If you show up to these events, you want to make friends. You are putting yourself out there. It takes a lot to put yourself out there in an environment when a lot of girls don't know each other. A lot of girls come alone. They don't come with their roommates or best friends or anything, so they're all meeting each other for the first time. That takes a lot. It's not like the sorority clique kind of stuff. It's girls who are genuinely so nice. It works almost every time, I'd say.
Okay, so what kind of events are we talking about? Where do you guys go?
So we had a pickleball party.
Okay.
I teach hot yoga. So we do hot yoga classes. We have hot girl walks every single month. We have happy hours. We're doing puppy yoga coming up. It's really everything. There's so many different things that we host.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess what's been the most fun that you've had in the group? Just let me ask you that, because we, you know, we want people to see this and we want your group to explode with all nice girls, of course.
Yes.
So what's been the most fun that you've had so far?
Yeah, I think like honestly like one of the events that was through DC Gals was the pickleball event. Like I thought it was so fun, and the fact that everyone came out and you were taking turns like playing pickleball and everyone's really in the spirit there to meet people. It started pouring rain afterwards, but that didn't stop anything. We just moved the party indoors, and then it created more of an environment for everyone to get to know someone. And in such a large group of girls, you're going to find your people, and that's exactly what happened with me. And now like a lot of like some of the most fun times is the fact that you know that the girls you meet there, they're going to be your genuine friends. Like you're not restricted to just hanging out at the events through DC Gals. If you become really good friends, you hang out outside of that as well. And like every weekend, like I know who I'm hanging out with. It's going to be Carly and our group of friends.
So Carly, what sets the group apart? Because we know that they're running groups. We just had a running group on Get Up DC earlier this week. What sets your group apart, or is it sort of the same? Just people looking for a community?
I would say it's a little bit different.
Okay.
So there are other groups, but what sets us apart is that it's more of like a group chat. That was the whole premise behind why I started it. I wanted a group chat where you could text in the group and be like, who wants to go get drinks? Who wants to get dinner? So it's pretty casual. And then we host events. A lot of the other groups, though, are like 200 people. Our groups range from 20 to 60 people. For the most part, we usually cap it, so you're not overwhelmed by how many people are there. And then the smaller groups just tend to do better. I feel like a lot of people have told me I can talk to one person one-on-one, I can talk to 2 people, so it's very almost like intimate. But we have so many different activities that we do, so it's not like the running groups, it's not just like a run every single week. It's so many different activities you can be a part of, like pottery, painting, whatever, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Before we let you guys go, what's next? What do you hope for?
I love seeing it grow. Our president, Paige Chesler, I wish she was here today. She has so many ideas. She is the amazing creative person behind the Instagram and all the events that we host. So every single day, we just keep growing on Instagram. We grew like 2,000 followers in the past 2 months, I think.
Wow.
It's been growing pretty quickly. So it's just really cool to see. I'm just excited to see what happens.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Gabby, what's the next activity that you're looking forward to doing?
Well, now that I heard about puppy and yoga, like I'm excited about that. So I can't wait.
I love it. And how do people get in touch? And what do you do? Do you just sign up, or what do you have to do?
Yeah, so there's an Instagram, DC Gals Take on DC.
Okay.
And then there's a Geneva, so it's like a group me. It's just a big group chat, and it's in our bio on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Join and make a new friend. I love it. And you girls are delightful. So thanks for coming
much.
in.
Thanks for having us.
See you next month?
Yes, I'll be here.
We'll be back next month. Thanks so much.
The word is éclairci small.
Éclairci small. ECLAIRCISSEMENT. Éclairci small.
That is correct.
That was the moment 13-year-old Faizan Zaki won the 2025 Scripps National Spelling Bee competition. It was held at the Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center in Oxon Hill, Maryland in late May. Now, this was Zaki's 4th time participating in the prestigious competition. He first competed back in 2019 at just 7 years old after getting in through a wild card program that has since been discontinued. But last year, he took second place after falling short in a lightning round tiebreaker. Talk about a powerful comeback. And you may be noticing a common theme between these kids. They are dedicated to their goals. And now we know this factor alone can separate our kids from just meeting expectations to going above and beyond. So in hopes of motivating your child to find a goal worth sticking to, we're taking you to Raleigh, North Carolina. A recent high school graduate there says his goal was to prioritize his education. James Brown III graduated Wilson Preparatory Academy as the school's valedictorian, as the class valedictorian. And if that wasn't enough to be proud of, his family says he's never missed a day of school since kindergarten. Akila Davis shows us where his dedication comes from.
The stage is set for graduation inside the gymnasium of Wilson Preparatory Academy. And 18-year-old James Brown III is fresh from rehearsal.
Feeling absolutely relieved, and I feel blessed to be here.
Wearing his cap and gown proudly and telling me what it took to get here.
Working every day, studying, getting every single thing right to a T to where I can be able to pass all my classes.
A little nervous today, but you can tell just how serious he's taking graduating at the top of his class with a 4.2 GPA. And come this fall, he'll be entering into the next chapter of his life, majoring in engineering.
I'll be attending Fayetteville State University.
He sat down with me inside his high school gymnasium, reading some of the valedictorian speech he will deliver to his 32 classmates.
Class of 2025, the world we are stepping into is big, messy, beautiful, and full of possibilities.
What's not in his speech is how he's operated in a spirit of excellence since kindergarten. His parents say he's never missed a day of school. Perfect attendance from that day to this one. His father is saying he likely gets that dedication from him.
I started working at 4 years old in tobacco with my family, and I just always worked. It's always been in me to work. And if you don't work, you don't eat.
His mother sharing that her mother, Annie S. Pitt, passed away unexpectedly in a house fire last year.
Even the day that she passed away, he still came to school.
James was one of her youngest grandchildren, and she was looking forward to seeing him walk across the stage.
He said, you know, I promised my grandmother that I would do well in school, and that's what I'm going to do.
The head of school, Daryl Woodard, awarding James this valedictorian medal that he will wear on graduation day. And as he prepares to turn his tassel, his parents hope that dedication remains. I asked him how he's planning to continue operating in that spirit of excellence and never miss a day of class in college without mom and dad's help.
Having an alarm ready, just being dedicated every day.
Fayetteville State is lucky to have him, and we have no doubt that he will keep up that amazing work ethic when he gets there. And Brown, again, is headed to Fayetteville State University. He will study engineering this fall. Well, a lot of students work their way through college, but here is the story of a sophomore dancing her way to a dream job. Jared Hill has more from one of the biggest shows on Broadway.
Jalen Farcone kinda lives a double life.
Today I started my first class at 8:30 at ballet at 8:30.
She's a sophomore studying dance and film at New York's Fordham University.
3 o'clock I had my composition class.
Attending some of her classes at the famous Alvin Ailey Studios before making her way through Times Square to a place she's always dreamt of being.
I can't believe that, I'm actually on Broadway and dancing and performing for thousands of people every day.
In October of 2024, Farcone made her debut as Imogen, an ensemble player in the hit Broadway musical & Juliet, a reinterpretation of Shakespeare's classic Romeo and Juliet. Farcone has theater experience. When she was 8, she was in a touring production of Billy Elliot the Musical, but with 8 shows a week on top of a college course load. She says this is different.
So what's the hardest part about juggling the show and classes?
I would say finding time to sleep.
It's part of why she says students often take a break from school to chase Broadway lights. She's taken a shot at both. Farcone's message to dreamers like her:
It's very important to stay grounded and focused in what you're striving to do.
Simple advice from a shooting star. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Simply amazing. Let's get to a story now, a heartwarming story out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that may be inspiring your kids to make a time capsule. Check out this viral video. It has nearly 10 million likes on TikTok and about 54,000 comments. It shows the class of 2025 at McCallie School reacting to questions their 6th grade self asked their future self. And those questions included favorite sports, hobbies, food, life advice, and college dreams.
What life advice would you have given me as a 6th grader?
Be kind to everyone. Every time you can. You don't get a chance to take things back or do things differently. So try to do it in the best way you can.
Oh boy, what a tearjerker, and that is just an excellent idea. I love that so much. That's McCallie School again in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Meantime, a group of teenagers in St. Louis, Missouri, they're spending their summer helping those in their community whose homes were destroyed by a tornado that touched down back in May. And get this, they plan to build 100 tiny homes from scratch. Check it out.
When I drove through these neighborhoods and I realized honestly that 80% of these homes not gonna come back up, but you got people that really don't want to leave their homes, and what's the next solution for them?
The solution, tiny homes for tornado victims.
Well, inside this tiny house is about 85 square foot. This one right here, this prototype would be fit for 2 beds. 2 beds, gonna do custom cabinets on top of it for they have storage and things like that. It's just shelter. Then we have the smaller ones, which is about 55 square foot. It'll be 1 bed, 1 bed, little air conditioning unit, door, just enough for storage, just enough hope.
To get it done, Arion Johnson, known as Propman Johnson Sr., brought teens and others from the community together to build them in the parking lot at Hunter Black Men.
They learning integrity, they learning how to square things up, they learning how to measure, they learning how to cut, how to frame. Right now we're doing siding.
By the end, these teens will know how to do it all, down to the electric work. Mentor Eric Wilson says they can't do it alone.
This is a direct call out to Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, everybody that want to come and donate materials and let us teach these young people how to build these houses.
Committeewoman Dr. Yolanda Yogi Yancey says this mission is the definition of St. Louis that isn't found in the dictionary.
This has simply been phenomenal and amazing to see young people actually learning a tangible skill, transferable skill that will take them for a lifetime. You teach a man to fish, they'll eat all day, and so that's what's taking place on this property today.
Set big goals because they're more achievable than you think they are.
And 13-year-old Ethan, you just heard from, is taking his own advice. What epic record he tried to break and how he's inspiring others. That's coming up. Welcome back. Well, we know dozens of parents in Long Island, New York are praising their kids and their unique research opportunity. Take a look. Students at Walt Whitman High School, again, this is in New York, are growing coral right in their classroom. It's part of a program to help protect the future of the underwater structures, aka the lungs of the planets. And the students are experimenting on their reef to understand the impacts of pollution and global warming.
You know, you don't really ever get the chance to meet your heroes, as they say. So it's kind of impressive that someone like him, who's on such an amazing journey, would come out to this little town.
That's Genevieve Altman talking about another amazing young person. She saw her hero, a kid who's about the same age as her, fly solo to her town in Arkansas. And this story gets even more impressive. Ethan is just 13 years old. In May, he tried to set the world record for flying solo.
I looked it up, and it turns out like the youngest person to fly around the world was 20 years old. And I was like, I'm 13. It's like, what, 7 years? I could definitely do that. It's like easy, easy. I was wrong. It was not easy.
And though it wasn't easy, he tried his best. He flew around the world and visited different hospitals. Ethan says he was motivated by his cousin, who'd been diagnosed with stage 4 blood cancer while preparing for his journey. 3, 2. Turning back to our area now, we want to highlight some local Girl Scouts who are making the community better every day with their badges. So let's start at Spotsylvania County. Elizabeth Carniel is helping kids in crisis. Here's how.
I collected stuffed animals for the back of cruisers so when officers know that they're going in for kids hopefully that they'll give them to kids who have gone through crisis, trauma, being pulled away from their parents, so that they know that they're not alone and have something to hug and love on.
There was around 150, and we were able to actually give all of them out to the deputies here at Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office. So they're no longer sitting in bags now, they're all in the vehicles.
It makes me feel good to know somebody actually thought about giving them to people and not just an officer thinking about just to make them feel better, a kid.
Another Girl Scout is helping young patients in Falls Church stay occupied during treatments. This is Emma. She just finished 6th grade. Emma organized a book drive and collected 650 books. And those books then went to kids at the Inova Cares Clinic in Fairfax County. So we asked her to share her advice for starting a meaningful project that benefits the community. Here's what she said.
I just want them to know that you don't have to be a celebrity or someone that people are inspired by already. You can just be an average person to make a difference in the community.
Although we know there is nothing average about what you did. Way to go. And we want to highlight 3 safety patrollers who are going above and beyond. So meet Ved Capula, Brianna Nemenzo, and Reagan Rice. They all just finished 5th grade at Hanover Hills Elementary School in Howard County, Maryland. And the trio won the National Lifesaver Award from AAA after saving one of their fellow students' lives. Only 4 students in the entire nation get this award each year, so it's just incredible to see our area representing more than half of the winners. In fact, the 4th winner was also from Maryland. They were from Montgomery County. And we know many of your kids may be setting a good example by tutoring their peers. And this rewarding experience can sometimes be more effective than when teachers instruct students in a classroom. That's because kids may feel more comfortable asking their peers questions. And peers can sometimes explain concepts in ways that are easier for the student to understand. So before we end this episode of Get Uplifted, we want to highlight a girl from Newmarket, Maryland, who's taking her tutoring services one step further.
Hi. How are you? I'm doing great. How are you?
Good luck getting Aria Pogdell out of her room. Like most teenagers, she's tethered to technology.
Unpredictable, exactly. We don't know what the future holds.
Aria's friend on the other end is named Lucy, but they didn't meet because of school or sports. Lucy is from Ukraine. They met because of war.
I was like, I want to help the whole Ukraine all at once, you know, because I had this big, image in my head of being like, okay, I want to be a change maker here.
Turns out Aria didn't have to go to Ukraine. She didn't even have to leave her bedroom.
I knew that I could do something, even if it was virtual.
In 2021, Aria began volunteering with a nonprofit called Engine. Once a week, she gives her time to help Ukrainians like Lucy learn English.
There's about 43,000 volunteers, roughly.
Out of those 43,000 volunteers, few have given more time than Aria. How has it helped you to have these conversations with her?
I really appreciate it because it's, for example, for me, it's really helped me, to, as I talked, to feel more confident in my speaking.
Of course, Aria's impact often goes beyond words.
I also call myself like an emotional buddy both ways because we also are able to like alleviate any of that pressure that's on us.
After years, that pressure persists.
One of my buddies, her father and brother are both actively serving. It breaks me that, their loved ones are going out there not knowing that they're gonna, come back.
Through that screen, uncertainty and grief meet comfort and friendship.
It definitely makes my heart jump around a little. Like I get really excited and it makes me just emotional. If we're talking about, taking advantage of every opportunity, these kids are the ones that are doing it.
So as long as conflict in Ukraine keeps happening, Aria will keep going. In Newmarket, Maryland, Sean Martinelli, WUSA 9.
Thanks, Sean. And we want to leave you parents with some advice. There is no such thing as a tiny impact. If your kids are doing anything to benefit the community, don't let it go unnoticed. Support them, encourage them, remind them how proud of them you are. Thank you so much for joining me, and we hope these stories have inspired you to make a difference in your own way. And I want to continue to share stories that uplift you. You can email us at getuplifted@wusa9.com if you have a story to share. You can also reach out to me on my social media. I'm on Facebook, X, Instagram, or our Get Up DC social pages. Join the conversation simply by using the hashtag GetUpDC if you'd like. And you can get your daily dose of Get Uplifted every morning at 5 on Get Up DC. And you can also find these stories on our website and our YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. Stay uplifted.